we can get started, and if you can join, if your face can join later, that's great.
Yeah.
Don't worry too much. Cool. Hi, Goldfish. Hi, everyone.
Right.
Shall we crack on?
Kick into it. Yes. Yeah. So, I think firstly, I guess I hope everyone had a good break, a good holiday season, because I think it would have been just before Christmas break when we last did a call. So it's exciting to do this again, and like we mentioned last year, for anyone that's didn't hear, we'll be doing these calls every month, the first Wednesday of each month at this same time. I'll be creating an event each time, so just keep an eye out for that. But make sure to join if you can, and if not, we'll be putting up recorded versions on YouTube. So something that we were doing at the end of last year and at the beginning of this year was we were discussing how we're going to handle the whole mobile version of BattleTabs. And it's a very large task for our small team. So we went through a lot of ideation, a lot of discussions. And I was wondering, Brandon, did you want to talk a little bit about our discussions or the trials and tribulations of trying to figure it out?
Yeah. So, and it feels like it's been forever since we had the community call, but for the last, I want to say 6 weeks, we have been working quite a bit on the mobile version, the pre-production of it, deciding on landscape, portrait, deciding on how the progression is going to go. And there's a ton of things we need to consider. And over the holidays, that was like, other than spending time with the family, we kind of escape into, design documents and spreadsheets and mock-ups to try to figure out what we need to do. And I think we've got a good plan. I think it's pretty exciting. Maybe I'll share a few things in a bit. But we also realize that there is a lot to do. There's a lot of changes that's coming. Not all content, so no season 2 just yet. But we do have a lot of systems that needs to be updated. As many of you know, that the game kind of started out very small, and then we gradually have been adding more new systems, exciting things to it. But as sort of because of that, we now have this game that kind of doesn't feel super cohesive. Like there's a lot of things that we would have done differently if we set out to just make this one game instead of a game that's evolving over time, which is exciting in its own ways. But now I think we've got to a point where the mobile version needs to be a much more polished product, and it needs to compete with all these other games on mobile. So the changes that are coming are more significant, and we had to spend quite a lot of time trying to figure out how do we manage a game that's live, that's running with players, and transitioning into this kind of new game. It's almost like BattleTabs V3 or something, except now it's like V48. But yeah, so that's sort of the thinking behind some of the things that we'll talk about today.
Yeah, and I guess one of the discussion points was, do we just kind of like freeze the development of what kind of the current BattleTabs is on web, and then we just work on mobile, and then we switch over? And that was something we were discussing, but it seemed like it wouldn't be very fair to current players, because you wouldn't be getting as many new features. It would, like, things wouldn't be getting as updated as frequently. So that's where we decided that we must go back. We must go back to beta. Back to beta. And what does that mean for like you yourselves as players. Well, what that means is you're going to get new features, you're going to get new content, and you'll have a more direct way to shape the future of BattleTabs. So instead of us kind of toiling away in a small cave and then bringing out the mobile version when we're done, we'll be releasing each feature on BattleTabs web, and you'll be able to try it out as we release it. So it does mean that it might be a little rocky here and there with a few more bugs, but I think it's very exciting because you'll see all this stuff before anyone else, before it goes to mobile, because I imagine when it goes to mobile there'll be a different kind of player base joining, but this is something where the community can also really get involved, which again, the community has kind of made BattleTabs what it is. So it's very important to us to keep engaging you and to get all these elements, I guess, with your input. So it's pretty exciting. And something else that we will like to do, we haven't sorted out the details yet, but current players, anyone that's playing during this back to beta phase, will definitely want to have some sort of cosmetic or medal or badge that you can wear or like have, or something to denote that you have been with us during the beta period. So when it comes out on mobile players won't have that. You'll have that. You have a cool little signifier to show that you are helping to shape BattleTabs during this period. And as part of this kind of back to beta, I guess, kind of launch, we do have a public roadmap and a FAQ. And I think, Brandon, you have, are you able to flip the switch for the back to beta flag on? I know I'm really putting you on the spot here.
I'm going to, so the original idea is I'm going to show you, show everyone the flipping of the switch.
Oh,
but
cool.
the other day when we did a try run, we realized that it's it's going to show stuff that probably shouldn't be public on the screen. So I'll get the process started, and I'll let you know when that's done.
Cool.
But in the meantime, do you want to sort of show a few things, maybe the roadmap and maybe going through the FAQs?
Yes, I've just shared the roadmap in the chat. Let me see if I can share my screen. Just have to minimize everything. So I won't be able to see the chat while I do this. Everyone let me know if it's completely balked. I might be able to just share the roadmap. Okay, can people see that? Yep. Okay, cool. So we basically, through our discussions, we kind of broke down what back to beta is, or what I guess the core pillars are. I've kind of nailed it down to the community efforts, which is your involvement, the league, research, matchmaking, game types, challenges, and ship skins. We'll not go. I think we'll maybe just do a bit of an overview. There's a lot of detail in each of those, and we can kind of share them as we go out. So I don't want to overwhelm everyone with details at the moment. But I thought it would be cool if I think myself, Brandon, and Sophie just go through some features that or pillars we're looking forward to. So I'll just go first, and something that I'm quite excited about is the research side. So this is something where we're currently working on. Again, we'll share more details later, but it's a new way for players to progress by completing research and unlocking things. These are some really early mock-ups that we've got, so they're not representative of what it will finally look like. But that's something I'm really excited about, being able to have this, research tree where you can complete tasks and challenges and unlock things. And I think it'll be a lot more engaging than what we've currently got for like season unlocks. So I'll just pass to Sophie. Do you have a pillar or something about Back to Beta that you're excited about? That would be very cool. I think that's something Brandon will talk. I don't know if we've quite figured it out yet, but that is something we want to do as part of the community efforts. I guess I've been thinking about calling them kind of like community development events, but basically, some sort of event where everyone's contributing, and then that will get into the game, whether it's ship skins or emotes or game types or whatever it is. Brandon, are you able to mention one that you're excited about if you're not too busy?
Yeah, so I think the most exciting thing for me is the sort of basically having the game running on the phone. And I know that's something that everyone's talked about quite a lot over the last 2 years. But and yeah, so you can see on the screen. So we have a few mockups. We've also done interactive mockups. And I think the game looks great in at least in the design, and I'm pretty excited about how that's gonna play and how I can actually just play it whenever I have a little break from the kids. um, and I think that that's gonna be super exciting. Obviously, we've put a lot of effort into like how this is all gonna work, and I'm just very excited about it. Obviously, all the other design stuff, the progression, the leak, the new research system, there's a lot of stuff in there, and I think that's going to be super fun for people, both for people new to the game and for you guys that's been around with us for a while. Um, there's a new way of unlocking things. There's new content coming in. I think it's going to be a lot more fun than what we have currently, and there's a little bit of sort of innovation, I suppose, like something that's a little bit different from maybe most of what you've seen from other places. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. So basically everything is most exciting.
Let's have a little look at the chat because I can see it before. If anyone's got any interesting questions. Oh, the ELO-based matchmaking. I think we're still discussing that. That's something that Michael will talk about at I think a later date. But that's something we've definitely been discussing about with the league and ELO matchmaking. Is that right, Brendan? I think there's no
Yeah.
confirmed discussions yet.
So the current design, I suppose we can talk about this. Like the current design is there's a league, and then you progress through the league by winning matches, by battling or by sort of grinding in the game. And then there is a point where once you reach sort of a specific level or league, you kind of graduate into another system where the most competitive players will be competing against each other, and it will become a slightly different thing. It will no longer be just sort of climbing up the league. It will just be more like almost like a big party of the top players, I suppose. So once you're there, we're trying to decide if we use the same sort of system to count the ranking, or we have an ELO system just for that group of players. We haven't decided yet. We're trying to figure out what's a better way of doing this without making it overly complicated. But yeah, I think that's going to be a space where I'm sure we'll see a lot of you sort of hanging out in that league, sort of competing for the top spots.
Oh, another thing I've just something I'm also very excited about is the game modes as well. Again, we're talking about how we'll implement it, but I think that would be something really really fun. Like I personally, when I'm playing BattleTabs, I really enjoy playing classic BattleTabs, but sometimes having something a bit fresher, like in between some matches would be, some crazy. Well, I know Fog of War was one that I think BPF has mentioned before, and we were definitely looking at doing as well. And these kind of game types will be rolling. We'll figure out how best to integrate them, but you'll be able to try them out as we implement these things. Which again, I think will be very cool. Oh yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one that just in the chat.
So like Jamie was saying, we would definitely want to have the community involved. And I think there is already a few threads on different ideas for game modes, maybe ideas for skins. We might also do it through our bounties. So kind of like what we did with uh, what's the ship's name now?
Valkyrie.
Valkyries, Valkyries abilities, um, and figuring out like how do we make not just like sending ideas in um, by itself, but also how do we make it more fun for everyone? Um, yeah, so I think that would be very cool. I just saw there's a suggestion for a toilet coracle, which could be. We're gonna have a whole faction of like bathroom units, right? Because we have one at the moment in the bathtub. What's it called now? I'm terrible with ship names.
Chaotic. Uh, yeah.
The mission, yeah, character mission is, yeah. So like that could be a very fun theme to explore. Um,
That would be, yeah, I think yeah, how Sophie was saying about ship skins being exciting, like being able to make your fleet look unique to the other fleets will be really cool. Especially we've already seen in the BattleTabs channel where people are making, the themed fleets. Um, Being able to change the skins of those characters will be able to, you'll be able to make them a bit more like what was the Santa's one? Santa's Destruction Army or something, I think.
Centaurical.
Yeah, the Santa Coracle one with the Nessie and stuff. Yeah, that was really cool.
By the way, so I flipped the switch, and now we've got back to
Hey.
beta.
Cool.
So obviously this is live on .io. It won't be live on extension just yet, I believe. But if you click on the little banner at the top, you'll see a bit more information and links to see the roadmap. I'll just post a quick screenshot here for everyone here, but yeah, cool.
Oh yes, that's right. The very very cool graphic. Sophie, can you post that in chat if you don't mind? If you've got it handy. Yeah, yeah. Sophie made a very cool little image to kind of summarize what Back to Beta will be. Well, I think I think really the main purpose of this call is to announce the Back to Beta, and then I think we should talk. Oh yeah, there it is. Very cool.
I'm just sharing my screen.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Jamie, I
Oh,
interrupted you.
that's all right. No, that's all right. I was just going to say, I think if there's any questions, go for it. Otherwise, I guess we'll move into the community corner where we highlight some things we saw in the community. And I think the community corner So something that I've noticed, I have really enjoyed checking out the game dev channel. Um, just the general discussion around the chess game, and also I was wondering, is anyone here going to give a crack at doing some sort of game jam? I think that would be pretty cool. You could do it as part of the chess project. Um, but yeah, the game dev channel in general is I think my community highlight. Just checking out everything that's going on there. Sophie?
Yeah, so that's one thing that sort of came out of. It's kind of a continuation of our community call last time because we talked about the BattleTabs chess project um, last time, and then I'm super happy to see actually some progress be made and people working on this thing. If I can share the screen of some of this stuff that's been happening. Um, it's really cool to see, and I try to grab art. Oh, oh, this is not the right part. From that channel to sort of cross post them, but you can see some of the things that Jamie spoke about.
Cool. Yeah, it's been very exciting to see everything that's been going on in the game dev channel.
Well, I don't like that one.
Not again, Brandon.
Great.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's
Oh, did I?
very cool. Very cool to see people's work in the community.
And then the other thing for me, sorry, I sort of hijacked Sophie's. I don't know if Sophie was done with that. Sorry, I wanted to share this. Cool. And I think the other thing I liked from the community was the updated tier list. It's always nice to see what you all think of the ships, how about the balance of the game. I know there's always chat about the balance, and we try to keep on top of it. So we might do another um, discussion around any tweaking that we might do. We want to continue refining the current ships, while in the meantime, obviously, we have a lot of new ideas coming in. I don't know how many new ships we'll be able to do while we work on the transition to mobile. But I think there are plans to have a few more ships. So we'll make an announcement when that happens. And I suppose another thing we didn't mention is what happens with the ships you own and blueprints and gold and gems. I just want to quickly mention that our current thinking is we want to keep like whatever you have at the moment. You'll continue to own them. If we have new economic systems in the game, we want to have make sure that we can convert the current system to the new one, so you don't lose your progression as much as we can. I think some of the things that are new that are coming in, obviously, everyone will be starting from the sort of baseline. But we want to respect the time that you've already spent in the game. So that's the plan.
There's also an FAQ. I don't know if I posted in the channel. That also details what Brandon talked about. It's also on the public roadmap. Just check that. Just in case there's any questions. And so back to beta will last until we release on mobile. So that will be the back to beta period. Just to be clear as well. We won't always be in beta. We will come out of beta once again. Why, Goldfish? Why are we going back to beta? Well, going back to the reason why was to basically continue adding new features that we'll be developing for mobile, which may be a little, we might need to, when we add the league, we might need to reset some stats on the league. Just a few little things that might be like, some little bugs here and there. So it's just, I think it's better to label it as a beta because it will be in a state of change over this next period. So it just makes it a bit, I think, clearer as to what the state of BattleTabs is during that period. But I think very exciting period.
Yeah, definitely expect bugs and expect the game to break from time to time as part of this because the changes are pretty significant. So so we kind of want to set expectations. Like sometimes things are going to be a little bit unstable as we change things up. But I think it also makes the game continue to keep the game fresh. So so I think there's benefits in us sort of going through this as well.
All right. If there's nothing more anyone would like to discuss, we might wrap up. If there's any other points. Sophie, Brandon? Just want to detail one here. I didn't cut my hair due to laziness, and then I kind of liked it being long, so I just kind of rolled with it. So for now, I will be long hair. Yeah, it's pretty cool, but I might change my mind at some point. But for now, the long hair stays.
Should have a community vote on Jamie's hair.
Oh, maybe Mike could do that because I know every year he has his nephews vote, or they not vote, they get to style his hair for a day, and he has to wear it like that for the entire day, no matter what they do. Which I think is
are you volunteering, or are you volunteering, Mike?
No, I'm volunteering, Mike.
Great, excellent, cool. Great. I don't have anything else today. I think there's as part of this whole thing, I'm doing a lot more sort of product kind of side of things. So you might have noticed I'm not as active on Discord. I'm going to try to get back to it more. But yeah, you can always ping me on Discord. I'll try to get back to any questions or suggestions as soon as I can. And you can also see that Jamie and Sophie are here. So as our continuous effort to keep you all involved, we're going to continue posting more sort of work in progress content, I suppose. Just things that we're working on that may or may not become part of the game, but I think it's always kind of fun to see the behind the scenes.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's something that I've very much enjoyed when I've seen like other creators or like games that I really like. When I get to peek behind the curtain, it's very cool to see how something goes from a funny looking cube to being like a really cool character or something. Which again, shout out to Sophie's wallet modeling video that I think we posted a little while ago. I thought that was really cool. Just going from literally like a cube to like a nicely textured wallet. Yeah, seeing that kind of stuff, I'm always amazed by. Okay, I think that kind of just about wraps us up. So we'll be doing post on Discord about this as well if you want some more details. It's kind of just like a wrap up of what we've just gone through. And just keep an eye on your calendar because we'll be doing this again next year. Not next year, next month. And I'm sure Mike will be joining us. But I think we can all agree back to beta is going to be a fun and exciting time. So yeah, keep an eye out. There's definitely going to be things that you'll be able to get more involved with, which will be really cool. All right. See you guys.
All right. Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.